Penn's Landing, a little bit of smoke in the atmosphere north of the city today. A heat advisory. Once again, the big story is the heat today, and that advisory continues until 8 o'clock. It's a day temperature-wise very similar to yesterday. So if you felt really uncomfortable yesterday, you're doing it again. Current temperature, we dipped to 78. We were sitting in the 80s up until now. This is a new number coming in, so it's been so uncomfortable all night long that AC has been running more likely. 71 in Allentown. It's 80 on the boardwalk, even in AC right now. How's it going to feel this afternoon at 3 o'clock? Feeling like 102 to this model suggesting 107 in the city. I think that's a little high. For the most part, it's going to feel like the triple digits across the area between 100 and 105. And that's why we have that heat advisory. We're dry with a good deal of sunshine, but there's a little bit of haze in the atmosphere this morning, and you're feeling the warmth. Really warm at 8. It's already 83. By lunchtime, it's 94 and sunny. Maybe 1 or 2 spots get a thunderstorm, especially northwest of the city. Most areas stay dry, but in the heat and humidity, we may see something bubbling up here. At 4 o'clock, it's 98. At 8 o'clock, it's 88. Matt, that'll be a record higher once again today. I saw some of the haze in the atmosphere that you mentioned. Yeah, a little bit of a smoky haze north of the city here. As we take a look at the day ahead, though, it's time to rise and shine. That sun is shining out there, and it is going to be blazing hot once again. Look at these temperatures and how they rise. At 7 o'clock, we're already at 81. At 10, it's 88. At 1 o'clock, it's 95. At 4 o'clock, 98 degrees. That would be a record-tying high, just like yesterday. Just like yesterday, we have the humidity way up there, so it's going to feel like it's between 100 and 105. Nothing more than a 20% chance of a storm popping up in 1 or 2 spots, maybe especially north and west of the city. I only mention it because any one could be a little bit gusty. But today's mostly a dry day. Tomorrow's a different story. We start off dry, but now we get some scattered storms. The timing on this has changed since yesterday, as often happens when we get closer to the date with that front drawing near. So some of the models now suggesting it gets pretty active in the afternoon hours and into the evening, and we could have an issue with flooding. I don't think everybody hits 90. I think if you're near the city and south, you hit 90. North and west, you get those storms earlier, and that's going to change things for you. We'll talk more about that in that 7-day forecast in just a minute. Walter and
Find somewhere indoors to hang out, because outside it's going to be yucky, right, Karen?
That's right. We've got the heat advisory continuing all day today into the evening, because again, like yesterday, it's going to feel like it's between 100 and 105 this afternoon. Today, we can also see an isolated gusty storm. I think especially north and west of the city. Most areas just stay dry, but we have a slow moving cold front that'll track towards the area. Tomorrow, we'll have some scattered storms. I think we could see a gusty storm, but the big issue tomorrow is the threat for flash flooding, because these storms are going to produce a lot of downpours. So right now it's quiet. We've got hazy sunshine continuing through the region, and we look at the current temperatures. It's been warm all night. 78 currently in the city, 80 still on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. So really uncomfortable. If you're heading out to take that dog for a walk, a little uncomfortable, but at least the paws are safe this morning. So a good idea to head out early. At 7, it's 81. By 9, it's 85. But by 11, it's already 91. And you need to be careful of those hot paws. At 1 o'clock, it's 95. At 3 o'clock, 98. That would be record tying again for us today, but it's going to feel like the triple digits. No better than a 20% chance in the afternoon of a shower or storm popping up north and west. So most areas staying dry. Hot sand again, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures even along the shore reaching just under that 90-degree mark, but feeling like you're well into the 90s. Air quality issues. You want to make sure you try to spend a little more time indoors than outdoors today. Tomorrow, the issue is an elevated flood threat. So we look at this from the Weather Prediction Center, our region in the area of yellow, the entire area, that's a 2 out of 5. So a good shot that you could see some downpours that could be strong enough to produce flash flooding. I think the timing of this will need to be tweaked over the next 24 hours. But right now, the timing is a little different than it was yesterday morning, where we look at the lunchtime hour, 12:30, and we're already starting to see a couple of scattered showers or storms pop. But it might take to closer to the later afternoon hours. This is 3:30 in the afternoon before you get these storms kind of gelling here and getting a good downpour through the area, enough that we could produce flash flooding. The National Weather Service says they're a little worried about training, storms kind of going over the same area here. And even at 7 o'clock in the evening, pushing towards the shore points before pulling out of here. But when it does, it leaves showers in its wake on Friday. Your exclusive AccuWeather 7-day. Today, the brutal heat and isolated storm chance at 98. Tomorrow, we have an AccuWeather alert. The high near 90. It'll be cooler north and west, and near 90 in Philadelphia and the south. Some scattered storms in the afternoon and evening that could be strong, but the bigger issue here is the heavy downpours they could produce. Behind that on Friday, look at how temperatures change. After days in the 90s, we're only at 74. It's breezy. You can have gusts up to 30 miles an hour. You've got some rain. You've got some showers around. Maybe some peaks of sun at the end of the day, but it's going to take till then. Saturday, sunny, beautiful, 81, good 6 degrees below.
Matt Pellman with weather and traffic. Hey guys.
We got to do one more really rough day.
One more rough day with the heat and humidity, kind of a carbon copy of yesterday as far as the temperature. So if you hated it yesterday, you've got today to contend with. But you know what? We see the end is in sight here, but the heat advisory lasts until 8 o'clock this evening. And you can see through most of the area, we're covered through this everywhere except for southern Delaware and parts of South Jersey. And that's because it's going to feel like it's between 100 and 105. Currently, it's 78 degrees. Up until an hour ago, we were still sitting at 80 degrees. So it has been warm and humid all night long. How's it going to feel at 2:30 this afternoon? Between 101 in Allentown to maybe 103 across I-95, 104 in Middletown, even feeling like about 99 in Atlantic City. So we're dealing with the heat and humidity again. We've got clear skies, a little bit of haze in the atmosphere today, a little bit of smoke in the atmosphere as well. At 8 o'clock, really warm start, 83 degrees. But by lunchtime, it's already 93. Mostly sunny skies by 93. We're mostly dry today. Can't rule out an isolated storm popping up. Only about a 20% chance, especially north and west. Most areas just stay dry. But it's another steamy day. At 4 o'clock, it's 98. Even at 8 o'clock at night, it's 89. So today is mostly dry, but tomorrow's more active, Matt. We have an AccuWeather alert for tomorrow, some scattered storms. The big threat there could be flooding, and I'll talk about that. Today, temperature profile, Walter, just like yesterday. I know a lot of people have been complaining. It's too much. Today is the 4th day of our heat wave number 5, and it's going to feel like it's between 100 and 105. Here's what you need to know. Only an isolated storm chance, especially north and west, that could be a little bit gusty. Most of the area stays dry today. Not the case tomorrow. We have more scattered storms tomorrow, and that elevates our flash flood risk. So more of an issue with flooding for tomorrow. Right now, things are quiet. We just have hazy sunshine this morning starting your day. If you're trying to think of a time to walk the dog, head out as early as you can or as late as possible. You really don't want to be out there in the height of the day. We also have an air quality issue with the ozone today. At 7 o'clock, it's 81. At 9 o'clock, it's 85. But at 11 o'clock, it's already 91. We see that sunshine, a few clouds around. At 3 o'clock, it's 98 degrees, but feeling like it's the triple digits today. At 5 o'clock, it's 96. 98 would tie our record high. We did that yesterday, doing it again today. No better than maybe a 20% chance of a storm popping up. That could be a little gusty with some downpours, especially northwest of the city. But you can see most areas just stay dry through the region. Even at 7 o'clock this evening, the temperature's 92. It's uncomfortable then as well. Tomorrow, we've got an elevated flash flood risk. This from the Weather Prediction Center showing the entire area in yellow. That's a 2 out of 5. We could see scattered storms that produce the kind of downpours that we could see some flash flooding. Models suggesting a little earlier than they did yesterday. So as early as lunchtime, 1 o'clock, maybe you start to see some storms form, but a better chance. Look at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You can see the areas of dark red and these heavy downpours through the region. An isolated storm could be gusty, but the big issue is the threat for flooding with this. And the National Weather Service saying a little concerned about training. Some of the storms may be going over the same areas, producing some heavy rain, pushing towards the coastline more towards the evening. This model suggesting at 7:30. Make sure you stay tuned to the weather throughout the day because we're going to have updates on the timing of this front. But something to watch with that risk of flash flooding. Of course, we've all been talking about the 8.8 magnitude earthquake off the east coast of Russia, and that's caused those tsunami advisories along the coastline. But near Crescent City, near the Oregon border, they do have a tsunami warning along the coastline still, and the Seattle office there just reported that they had a 3.6-foot wave. So something we continue to watch along the coastline. Here's your exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Brutal heat and isolated storm chance and 98. Tomorrow near 90 in the city. I think you hit about 90 south of the city. It's cooler north and west of the city because that front is slowly moving. So it depends on where you are tomorrow as to how much heat you get. But we all get the chance for these scattered storms that could produce heavy downpours, enough that we could be issuing with some flooding concerns. Friday, we have lingering rain. Look at the change. Are you sick of the heat? 74 on Friday, 30-mile-an-hour at times gusts, lingering rain and clouds, especially east of the city. Saturday, it's sunny, about 6 degrees below average. 81 is going to feel pretty good. Sunday